Hi guys, it's Kimberly as a Cards Turn Tarot. We're going to be looking at the Never-Ending Pick-a-Pow. Current energies. See where everyone's at. Let's start with one. We'll get crystals. This gets a little loud. I put them down and then I read them. And that would be for each pile. There was a temptation around you this week, you know, where it was something that you already healed from, but it was almost like a test in energy. And I think you realize that. You might have gotten an apology. Um, you have such a big heart, whoever's in one, that, you took it at face value. But you're definitely reminiscing or summoning something. So I'm curious to see what's going to come out in one. Two. You got some truth, but it was murky in one. I hear that too. Okay, for two. Two, you're very focused. You're hoping something that was done will just relieve itself quietly. It was like you were done with the energy. You found what you needed out of it. And you put healing back down on the burner. You decided for yourself as a softer side. And I think, that was the best way, more go with the flow energy two has. For some reason, there was a switch in your energy that was more from a restricted to a go flow, but also calculated. I want to say that. Okay, two, three, please. Three, three. Okay, three. You're thinking about finances right off the jump. You're trying to be creative, but you're starting more than one project, so be careful there. It seems like a lot. But it's a busy energy that you like, so it could be work related. But you might need a timeout. Yeah, it's like a spring forward, a spring energy. It's really a nice energy for three. Something that you're going through quickly. You're looking forward to it, whatever this might be for you. Let's get some crystal energies for each pile. Okay, for one, I felt that. I got the Moonstone energy, which is live your purpose. I'll give you that because it jumped out for you. Oh, here's two. Two, you got two. Well, actually, you got four. You got support is all around you. First one. Sorry, Angel Knight. Support is all around you. You got an adventuring, which is create your own luck. So something that you did. As a right. Get laser focused. The first thing I said to you was get laser focused. And apologize. Stay positive. Polylite. Apholite. Mm-hmm. There's a watching energy with you. On the bottom of the deck, a Cordillion. Feed your creative side. Maybe somebody's watching you be creative. Let's get for three, please, for the current crystal energies. The three is going for. Well, you got Garnet. Ignite your passion. It came upside down, but I don't read them upside down. You got remember your worth and schedule yourself in with Ocean Jasper. I feel the many things of that. If you notice, a lot of angles to heal, a lot of detours to take. Like borrowing from this one to pay that one. It's very busy energy. curious to see what's going to come out in blocks. Let's see for one for the Moonstone Energy. One, you got one card. On the bottom of the deck, you got Loyalty. And then you got Congratulations, and you got the Warrior card. So, you know, something you went through that was hard, but you stuck through it, you know. You stuck through it, and congratulations. Bottom of the deck, or the top of the deck. You got the High Priestess of Earth. So something that you grounded, something you were ready to respond with, something that, you know, I think even this isn't really, the congratulations come out, the earth come out, very grounded energy, getting it done yourself, the warrior energy, I love it for you. So whatever, that's the unknown. The 2, a 39, and a 3. So there might have been somebody else involved, or another third party involved, or a corporation, or something you were working with, could be family as well. Very well done. Oh. 2, please. 2, please. Direct. For 2. Direct energy we're dealing with. High Priestess of Spirits. So there's something that you see. It's a 7. You're very protective. That's the card that came out first. You're very focused. You're very spiritual, whoever you are. You know, it's like you're divinely protected. You like to, you listen to your intuition. That's a good card to have, even in the blocks. One more on High Priestess of Spirit. Why is that card here? For their greatest good for 2. Wow. You got choices. You got lust. You got something you didn't see coming. You got your own groove. You got individuality behind that, the obedience. And then you got High Priestess of Fire, passion again. And then something of a growth that was very hard to go through, was complicated energy. Choices. So something that maybe you went through that reflected some of your choices and you changed into, or you're making an attempt to, or you're starting to listen to your inner self with something. This is for 3. 3, you got the High Priestess of Air. High Priestesses are here, they're out. The unknown part of things. Okay, you might have had communication, you know, so there's a thinking about it, there's a strategy behind it, there's getting ready, there's a 6, there's a smoothing out of for 3. Well, you could be dealing with an Aries, Leo, not Aries, sorry, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You even have that in your stones. Drop 1 like it was nothing. You're willing, you're not moving with something. You're not changing your mind with something. There's something that you're dealing with that you're not budging. You're staying focused with something and you're not taking a risk. You're observing, there's an observing energy, but you're not taking a risk with anything. Denial sits over that in a cycle. 3. There's soul fragments being brought back to you too, or taken away with harsh communication. You know, that causes a resistance. Is it self-sabotage? I have one more. Watch for that, guys. Same thing, vision. You know, that's like my moon card. Get a smaller breakdown of this. Let's go to 3. High Priestess of Air. High Priestess of Air, please. What's the energy for High Priestess of Air? Hold. Well, there was a backstabbing, a betrayal, enemies. There was a world, there was a cycle here. You know, that you felt, you know, was completely done with it. Or you're watching somebody be completely done with the situation. You felt it was awarded too. Queen of Cups. You're not saying nothing about it. You're holding it in with the Queen of Cups energy. You're holding a lot. A lot of emotions. Number 13 is a good number. You know, it's something you've seen in a cycle. You think there was an expansion with something. Okay. Well, you got something about justice, maybe a Libra. You've got Five of Cups energy in a reverse, something that they're not seeing. You know, this person spills some cups, but there's more cups to be seen, and there's no justice in looking at something that's already spilt. So the past, yeah, there's movement on that. So I like that movement. I'm not going to put it in the pile because there was movement on it. So something that was very emotional, something you held in, something you were very quiet with. It was hard to go through, but you got through it for 3. Especially in last week's energy. You're not saying nothing. I asked why the Queen of Cups come out, and the communication card came out. Something you're not saying. Don't worry, we'll get a smaller breakdown as well. It's an observing energy. Quiet energy is what you have. Yeah, there's something you're leaving out of. You don't want to, there's something you're doing on your own, see? And maybe that's worrying a little bit. But you also have an idea of a strategy, or a lot of paperwork coming, or tests, or information is coming in at once, and you're trying to really do the best you can, or a lot of projects. I said that when we did that. So you would want a slowing up of energy, what you're asking for, and you got a lot of movement. But you have a lot of bright ideas for 3. I love your energy, I just do. Ace of Wands. That was a beautiful card to have because it shows new beginnings. So you feel confident in something. Number 2, you got the Empress upside down. You've got a message about something that you maybe been working on, maybe rushing off to in a fast action. And maybe you didn't know what you were getting yourself into with this High Priestess of Spirit. Something, it just seems like a lot. There's an energy in it, or the way it's falling out that you don't quite like. Again, 2. Let's put that back. Number 2, please. High Priestess of Spirit. High Priestess of Spirit. Direct. Well, something independent, success, financial stability, security, prosperity, wealth, rewards, thriving business, freedom, contentment, and discipline. Spiritually, over that spiritual card is that you do a lot of things on your own. Scorpio energy, number 9. Very grounded. Virgo energy as well. Ace of Swords, that's the truth. You got clarity and spirituality. That's what it's saying. You got clarity in a situation where you chose to go more with a flow energy to smooth things out, so you're very receptive into working with other people in a fair manner. 1. This is for 1. Direct energy for 1. Well, 1, not learning something from the mistakes. Unwilling to learn, lack of growth, poor work ethics, lack of commitment, and lack of treatment, of teamwork. What crosses over that is the King of Swords. But you have a pinnacle that you have. You're standing on something. I almost feel the priority card. We'll see what comes out. That's the unknown about it. You can handle your own, whoever you are in 1, and things will smooth out with the 6 of Swords. In the past, something wasn't your wish. Okay? you had to walk away from something. It really, you were not pleased with it. Both parties, there was confusion. Maybe there was shattered dreams, dissatisfaction, nightmares, misery, disappointments, low self-esteem, addictions, and arrogance. So some things that were revealed, maybe in one you got an apology for that from someone. How did you feel about this apology? And I really think you don't believe them. You don't think they're sincere with an apology. I know when it was an attempt. Yeah, death wants to rear its head, but it didn't want to come out right. On the bottom of the deck, we got Ace of Pentacles reversed. For one. Pulling yourself together over the worst surviving disaster. Being saved, melodrama, refusing to let go, denial, relapse, and despair. Queen of Swords, honest, truthful, protective, independent, chatty, witty, funny, fair, strong, realistic, problem solver, very intelligent, open-minded, and a mother. You got a victory with something. By changing the way you act or in a response to something with the Moonstone, it was a victory for you. Maybe you went through a tower. You took a tower and you went with the most positive resolution or aftermath of that tower. Yeah. You got the Aries energy. You got the Emperor. You know, maybe there was more than one person that you were dealing with in one. One's still talking. You got the King of Wands and you got the Ace of Cups. Yes, I think there was an apology. I think you have something new coming towards you. I think you're ready for something new, whoever you are in one. You're energetic, you're optimistic, you're powerful, confident, friendly, action-orientated, passionate leader, protective. New beginnings, new relationships, new romance, love, happiness, conception, fertility, of course, pregnancy, celebration, and socializing. So there's a lighter side to you, Gemini. Now there's one that's not so light to you, you know, where maybe you had to bring out a tower moment, you know, where things were out of control and a system wasn't working right, and you got justice on top of that. I'll show you. Justice, where it was left out. You had to think about things in a whole with a tower. You know, it was a victory where you cut off and strategized the way you know how. You really became a leader and you were quite clear in communication. You know, and I think that's why you got both, you know, you got the High Priestess and you've got the grounding to communicate what you grounded. And that's where the congratulations is coming in. And where, you know, hey, it wasn't easy to go through. But you stayed loyal to yourself. And that was the Moonstone energy. Good job. See what's on the bottom of the deck for you. One. We got the Fool. You're moving forward. You let it roll right off your back and just keep moving forward. You know, you have a very good view, you know, and you took some turns that you had to take, and I think that's where you landed up, you know, very confident. You have a lot of confidence in one. Collective energy, that all three piles are dealing with. Collective energy. Let's get another deck. Collective energy that all piles are dealing with. Well, you got the Seven of Swords energy. I don't really quite like. It came out sideways. So, you know, I think it's cutting through the BS and seeing it and cutting it off is the energy that's present. collectively, why is a sword, 7 of swords, put her in a 10. Something that they don't know. Something that's not being revealed that they don't know. Empress energy. There's a block in the Empress. Maybe worried about something. Could be work related. Could be something with third party union. And there's good luck with it. So I think somebody's coming to you to make an offer. It's a lot to think about. You really don't want to even look at it. You feel there's a block in it, and it's not your wish. Outside energy has an idea in something that they're holding in secrets. So it's cutting through the BS. BS right here. Let's get a smaller breakdown. Top card. Message of love, an apology, and not an apology. I don't know. Comes and goes, right? I only want this one. The Fool. No movement. No movement from your outside energy. That's the unknown. No movement from the outside energies around you. So maybe you get the response you want. Maybe you're waiting on something. Be patient. Patience is called here. Outside energy that all piles are dealing with. We have a few cards on that. The outside energy. Reflecting. Shadow work. They're going through it. That's good to see. I mean, you know, that's all you can ask for is somebody to go deep, you know, change what they can. I mean, you can't ask somebody more than that. I mean, if it's forgiveness in there on your part, you can only ask somebody to do the best they can. That's all they can. So you're seeing that as well. All 3 piles. Timing card. Like everybody has their own time that they go through that, you know. So maybe they just want to let you know autumn's something about autumn, a soul growth, a cleaning, a new intention, starting over with something. And then they've got Mars energy coming in fast too. Mars energy, movement, take action. The opportunity is there if the nostalgia is just dropped on the card. There's bad feelings with all of this. But, you know, the fulfillment comes after it because realizations come, movement comes, new ideas start, new endeavors, new sparks. That's what's on the board. There's also a wish here, a fulfillment of a wish. To release. I'm sorry about this. But some of you had to hear, you know, to purge something. Look at that person. Like they're underwater, you know, and they're just letting those little soul fragments that showed its rear head before to come back in, you know, to reconnect to yourself. Not concentrating on so much of what was lost, changed, disappointed, but the opposite. That's why fulfillment comes with it. So I like the collective energy and the reflection. Let's see for individual pile. Oop, whoa, I was going to 3, but we'll switch. We'll keep spinning on that. Okay, 3. Well, you have a windfall of money and something from the past that you are hoping doesn't move forward. Yeah. Until death do us part. Something in the past, you know, somebody's going through it, or somebody's suffering, and somebody has abundance of something. There's a give and take, a help here. Don't like this energy. in a flow, because it's a fast energy. It's a windfall, comes in fast, leaves fast, and there was no meaning to it. You know, it was complete. That's why I took that down. Let's go for 3 again, please. Only for their greatest good. Well, you have something of passion here and an action that wasn't taken in 3. You have an idea, but you're waiting on something. You're very passionate about it, but you don't know where to put the passion. So there's something there that you're excited about. I want to say that. I don't take it as a negative. This is 3. Well, you've got karma and you've got balance. In the union. You felt that you got karma, that's good. And you got balance in a union. Yang energy has calmed down for it. There's more karma energy, even shuffling the cards for you. You know, you went through a twin flame energy, and I think both parties gets it, and that's how it works. One just can't get it, and the other one don't. You know what I mean? And when there's a unite, and that's probably where the Ace of Wands is coming in over here. There's an igniting in it, you know, that it wipes it out, so it's balance. There's not a push-pull of one angry, one not. There's a forgiveness on the board here for 3. But you are tempted. There's, you know, self-discipline. So you're telling yourself this, you know, you're telling yourself this is done, this is, you know, and that's the journey. I mean, there's a journey here. One more for the temptation. Closed off. You're a strong person. You're a strong person, and you've been a strong person for a long time. So you won't even go there. You just put forgiveness out, and I think that's the way you're handling it. But there's an energy of both sides coming to that. So that's a definite lightened energy. And I remember in the last reading 3, I felt that. I mean, I really did. So beautifully done. Let's go to 2. Let's ask why that Ace of Swords is here for you. Well, there's something of a loss. You know, there's a woundedness. There's not feeling good enough. I hate that energy. You're missing someone. You're left out, you know, of the old. Left out of the old. Left out in the cold. Or is it the old? Toxicity. I felt that. I felt the toxicity with that. I don't quite like that energy. Let's move it forward. Move forward. There's a message that needs to come through. Let's see. What's the clarity here for Ace of Swords, Pile 2, never ending? In the present, thank you. Okay, you found truth and you found clarity. And you found self-worth. And that's all that needs to be said, correct? Nicely done on the Ace of Swords. Let's see what this Ace of Wands is just going to give. Final thought. On the bottom of the card, illusions have been put down. And set intentions has been revealed. And there's a beautiful wish behind it, you know. There's just always a watching over you, always loving you in an energy, you know. And they hope you receive it, always watching. There's such an innocent fulfillment with placing an intention in a different manner. Whether that's forgiveness or not, it really cuts through the illusions. Beautiful energy. On the bottom of the deck, Purge. Nicely done, 3. One more for 3. Higher self. Activation. Let's look at 1. 1 direct. Well, you got a structure. You know, you got a foundation. You want to build a foundation. You want balance. You're building it slow and steadily. I like that. You're moving forward. You're very grounded, one. Direct energy for one. Spirit guides. You're assisting you. Divine guidance, signs of synchronicity, and guardian. So just watch out for that because you'll see it. That's a confirmation. How's that going to make one feel? Well, there's a flow energy. There's an intuition. Moon energy, intuition. And there's stability in that. So structure is backed up with stability and a flow. So keep doing what you're doing, and the spirit guides got your back. This was a long reading, but I think everybody needed to hear that, you know, everything happens for a reason. That's the energy I feel for this. There was a bigger picture across the view, just like I painted today. You know, and it was heavy to go through, but you made some turns and you made some activations. Self-worth was gained. Spirit guides were noticed and thanked. You know, I'll thank them. Very nice energy this week. I just hope that you guys have a wonderful week. Thank you again for supporting me by even listening to my readings. I enjoy them, and I hope you do too. And please, please, take what resonates and leave the rest. Take care.